everybody, I'm Coach Rebecca, and I am here to talk to you about uncertainty. Let me just double check that all my things are working. I think you can hear me. Good. So, we have been in this great time of uncertainty, and I posted a question in the Sport Confidence Accelerator Facebook group. That's our free Facebook group for any sport families that want to join us there. And I asked them, "What is your biggest struggle right now?" And I think at least a third of the responses were uncertainty. Will meets get canceled? Will gyms stay in business? Will we end up back on Zoom? Will my athlete train hard all preseason for nothing? And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how to remain calm and motivated in the face of uncertainty. So I'm going to give you three truths and three questions to ask yourself so that you can ride those waves of uncertainty with confidence, with calm, with grace. I love when this sort of question comes through because I'm like, oh yeah, I need to know the answer to that. So as I'm doing my research, I'm like, yep, this is exactly what I needed. So let's be real. Life has always been uncertain. I remember last November, like pre-holidays, pre-COVID, I was having just so much stress about certain decisions I was trying to make in my personal life and in my business. Rebecca, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. So is it really worth the amount of worry that you're putting into this one decision? Is it really worth all of that energy that you're putting into this one decision? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like it is. Like I need to worry. I need to like make sure that I'm make all the right decisions. But she's like, life is so uncertain. Life is so uncertain. So why stress, basically, when we really don't know how things are going to work out? So we have to just do the best we can. But on that hand, I'm like, well, if I'm going to get hit by a bus tomorrow, then why would I even do anything? Why would I plan for the future? Why would I try to make a bigger impact? But so we have to find that balance, right? Where we want to stay motivated and we want to have something to work towards, something that lights our fire and makes us excited. Little thing to touch on before I go into the three truths is that our brains don't like the unknown. I mean, I don't think anybody's like, woohoo, unknown. I like a surprise. I like a positive surprise, like a surprise party. I know some people are not into the surprise parties. I love it. I love it when somebody goes out of their way to do something special for me. Love that. I love the unknown when it comes to positive things. Like I love for money to appear in my bank account magically. I love for people to drop presents off on my doorstep. There's some uncertainty that I'm all about. I love, just like a surprise bouquet of flowers from my husband. Those are all things that are great. But when it comes to the negative unknowns, I'm not a fan, and neither is our brain. So a lot of the time when athletes specifically are struggling with mental blocks, a lot of the time it's because the brain is going, there's not enough information here. There's not enough information. I can't guarantee that I'm going to be safe. So we're just going to shut circuit and not try any skills. So that's what's happening. If you're experiencing that where you freeze up when you're trying to do something you should be able to do confidently, your brain is telling you there's not enough information. I don't know for sure that I'm going to be okay, so we're just going to cut it off. So that's kind of a problem, right? Because you never really truly 100% know whether or not it will be safe. So I'm going to tell you sort of a framework to decide if you can move forward or not. So I was thinking like, think back to your last vacation, back when vacations were a regular thing and you flew on an airplane and you were laying on a beach and your kids are laughing and the wind is blowing and everything is right in the world. In those moments, you're not thinking about uncertainty. Maybe you are. If you have chronic anxiety, then you might be. But for the most part, most humans are just going, oh, this is so nice. The gratitude, the presence, being in that moment going, wow, life has lined up in such a way that I get to be here right now. How cool is this? It's a little easier for us to be present and grateful when life is going swimmingly. But then you get that big tidal wave of uncertainty and we hyper focus on uncertainty. So regardless of whether things are certain or uncertain, because I'm going to tell you in just a second that they are uncertain, what we want to be able to do is drop into that place of, oh my goodness, everything lined up to put me right in this place. How cool is this? Okay, so I know that might be a stretch for some of us, but it's something to aim for, right? So here are the three truths that can help navigate uncertainty. Number one, there is always uncertainty in life, and there always will be. So, like I said, you could get hit by a bus, you could get hit by a comet. Sometimes I talk to athletes and they're like, well, what if my hand slips off the beam? Or what if this, what if that? I'm like, well, what if, like what if a meteor hits the gym? Like there's a whole lot of what if that we could consider if we wanted to. But based on the facts and based on the reality, is that really where we want to go? So the reality is you don't know if you're going to get injured. You don't know if your coach is going to go to a new team. You don't know if your best friend's going to move away. You don't know if your family's going to get sick. You don't know if you're going to get hit by a bus. The fact is we do not know. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I really wish I did. But the difference is that you have to be able to be okay with that because it's never going to change. There's never going to be a world without uncertainty. There's never going to be a time where things won't ever change and you'll just be on that breezy, beautiful, warm beach forever. You'd end up getting sunburned and you'd get dehydrated and you'd be bored. It's like things are going to change. So, but you also don't know if you're going to have the meat of your life or the season of your life. You don't know if your family's going to inherit a huge windfall from some random strange relative you've never heard of. And you don't know if you're going to run into Simone Biles at Starbucks. There are a lot of cool uncertainties. So we just want to accept nothing is certain. We just don't know. Okay, so there's fact number one. If you're still not feeling better, don't worry. Stick with me. Fact number two, truth number two, there are so many things that we cannot control. Most things we can't control. My grandpa Jack, who has passed away, he used to say that the meaning of life or like the way to a happy life, I can't exactly remember, is that you don't worry about things you can't control. Because every time you worry about something that you can't control, it's wasted energy that could be spent on being happy. So if we think about it, what can we really control? Ourselves. So most of the time, maybe not even all the time. What we pay attention to, what we focus on, what we do, how we think, our attitude. That's pretty much it. Nothing else. People, places, things are pretty much outside of our control. So we have to accept that. There's uncertainty is a thing that will always be with us. We can't control a whole lot of things. And the third truth is that pain is inevitable. This is depressing, right? But don't worry. I'm going to give you a solution. Pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. So you have a choice. Yes, things are going to happen. Life is not all going to be rainbows and butterflies for the rest of your life. But you get a choice. Now, I was doing a live training last night with some of the Perform Happy athletes, and one of the coping strategies, it was all about self-image and being able to see yourself in a positive light. And one of them was to silence your inner critic. And it's that voice in you that's like, this is not okay. This is not going well. This is never going to get better. What's the point? That grumpy dude who just sits on your shoulder and yaps at you and tells you things are not good and you're not good enough. Well, that little voice loves for you to suffer, loves it. And so we did this little thing that sort of plays off our superhero theme that we have in the program, where you come up with your supervillain. And that's that negative voice that's like, oh, it's not going to work out, or I have to worry, or I really have to stress about this. Then you have your superhero that responds to it. So just a quick run through what we did last night was we wrote down, what does your supervillain say? Okay, what does your supervillain say about uncertainty? I don't like change. I'm not good at this. This isn't going to be a good, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you get it all written down. And then you bring your superhero in. For me, my supervillain, I call her the princess. She's entitled and she's a whiner and she's like, wham, this isn't how it was supposed to be. I'm disappointed. I don't like it. She just complains and doesn't do a whole lot about taking action. Then there's my superhero, who is the queen. And she has this amazing perspective of everything is falling into place, whether you know it now or not. And she says, be patient, princess, be patient. That was sort of the thing I kept hearing was be patient. So you can do the same exercise where you write down all of that negativity and then decide who's your superhero, you on your best day. And how do they talk back? They go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You have a lot to be grateful for. It's okay. Everything is fine. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to be okay. And I need the queen to come in and be like, oh yeah, that's right. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. I do not have to suffer. So now I want to bring in this concept called, I'm calling it the uncertainty quadrant. Okay. So basically, when things get rough, when gets lifey, you have four choices basically. So you can you're here on this line between panic and calm. You're somewhere in there between panic and calm. And then we're also somewhere on this line between over prepared and under prepared. So I woke up this morning to, like hazardous air from the Sonoma County fires. I live in Sonoma County, and so we get all the fires. And so I've lived in each of these quadrants during times of fire, and these are the choices basically. So if I'm not prepared and I'm panicking, then it's like you freeze up. I end up just staring at my phone and being like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I'm just blah, like I'm freezing up. I'm not doing anything. Then I could get into this freak out zone where I'm panicking and I'm getting really prepared. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna, like that's the COVID people who bought all the toilet paper and who got so stocked up that they're freaking out, but they're getting really prepared, but they're still totally panicking. Okay, then there's the underprepared and calm. That's the people who are like, oh, the fire's down the street. It's fine. I don't need to leave. And then they're the ones who the police and the firefighters are like, get out, come. And they're, risking their lives to save the person who wouldn't leave. Then there's the sweet spot. That's here. It's being over prepared and calm. Okay. So it's not about just being calm if you're not actually prepared and things are not okay. You got to get prepared. So that's the sweet spot, is being here between over prepared and calm. So that's what I want you guys to look at, is if you are getting all frazzled by uncertainty, what can you do to prepare? So I have three questions that I want to ask you. Get my little notes back together here. Okay, I'll hide that so you don't have to look at that. There we go. So here are the three questions that will allow you to get back into the sweet spot, to be over prepared and calm. Okay, the first question, I'll give you the three questions and I'll give you some examples. And then meets get canceled. Okay, that's the first question. What am I worried about? The second question is, what's within my control? Okay, so in terms of meets, what's within my control? I can show up to practice when I can. I know some of the practices are closed in my area because of air quality. Florida, it's like they get closed for hurricanes. I mean, so we do what we can. We show up when there is practice. We prepare mentally to make sure that if/when meets happen, you're ready. So you prepare as if they will not be canceled. You get prepared. You get over prepared for there to be a season. And what do you do to prepare for that? And that's the third question. What can I do to better prepare for this? Train hard, think of my goals, practice gratitude. So instead of just letting that negative, the supervillain be like, who cares? Why even train? You're not going to be able to compete anyway. There's no Olympics. Instead, you go, you know what? What if there is? What if I'm the only one who keeps training through this time? What if I'm the only one who kept motivated during all this uncertainty? And then there was a season, it would be so good to be prepared. Okay, so here's another example. I know one of the worries that people have been facing is my team going to survive this? Is my gym going to go under? So that's the first question. What am I worried about? Gym going under. Second, volunteer. I can help seek out cheaper facilities or cost cutting ideas. So that's within my control. And then what can I do to better prepare? Well, I can have a backup plan, knowing other facilities in the area that we might be able to go to in case. Also, I can prepare my athlete so that they have other hobbies, they have other desires, they have other things, so that there's balance created in their lives, so that if that happens, if instability is created, if there is no other gym, that kid's already ready. That kid is prepared and has something else to be passionate about. And that's something that comes up a lot with, injured athletes. The ones that weather the storm of injury the best are the ones who have other hobbies, other passions, and other desires that they can lean on while they're recovering. All right, a couple more examples and we'll wrap up. So if control, nutrition, rest, recovery, confidence training, speaking up if something hurts, imagery, imagining myself being healthy and safe. What can I do to prepare for this? You can prepare your environment. You can make sure that your equipment and your mats are set up to keep you safe. You can have a team of professionals that you can go to if you start to have a little pain. You can speak up when it starts to hurt a little bit. See, doesn't that feel so much better when you're, instead of just being like, what am I worried about? I'm going to keep thinking about that. Okay, this is what I'm worried about, but this is what I can control. And this is what I'm going to do to prepare. And if you face it in that way, so if I'm here in Sonoma County and I'm like, I'm worried that there's going to be fires, well, there probably will be. What's within my control? We redid our siding so that it's all concrete. We have our trailer already. We know exactly what to grab when it's time. I have all the alerts put into my phone. And then I get to just feel prepared and calm and know that if it affects our town, I will know what to do and I will be able to respond. And then I don't have to be in that freaking out panic mode of like buying all the toilet paper. I can know we have plenty of toilet paper. Therefore, I can relax and love on my kids. So ask yourself those questions and know that you have a choice in how you respond to the situation. So, again, the three truths: there will always be uncertainty. There are many things you can't control. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And as long as you stay in that calm, over prepared place and focus on what you can control, you will be able to weather anything. And let me tell you, even let's say that, COVID disappears tomorrow. Poof, amazing. There's going to be uncertainty still. So it's good that we are developing this skill. So hopefully we'll be able to look back from a massive amount of gratitude and go, wow, I got through that. I can do anything. All right, you guys, thank you for being here with me. If you have any questions, join us in that Sport Confidence Accelerator Facebook group if you're not already in there. And let me know, what are your questions? What do you want to hear about on the Facebook Lives? And I will be happy to answer them. I'll see you around soon. Bye.